Alright, in today's video I'm going to talk about pyramid training, which is actually something that you guys suggested down below in the comments. So without further ado, let's dive into this video. Now, pyramid training is a style of training where you do multiple sets on the same exercise, but the weight increases or decreases as you go. So you have classical pyramid, which is where the weight increases. So set 1 is 60%, set 2 is 70, set 3 is 80, set 4 is 90%. Or you have reverse pyramid where the weight decreases. So the weight goes from 90 to 80 to 70 to 60 across 4 sets. Now keep in mind, obviously these are not the exact percentages that you would use. It's just to show you guys the points. I'm not going to spend much time on classic pyramids simply because anybody with a rough understanding of training knows this is kind of bullshit, because the lighter sets actually demand the least output both physically and mentally, and the heaviest sets demand the most output, and doesn't really make sense to do the light sets once again where you are the most ready, and the heavy sets where you are the most fatigued. So what some sensible people started doing back in the day is turn a classic pyramid into a reverse pyramid. So starting off with the heaviest sets first and work your way down to the easiest sets after that. This actually makes a lot more sense at first, and you also benefit from something called post-activation potentiation, which basically means that whenever you're doing some lighter weights after heavier weights, the lighter weights are going to feel even lighter because you've done the heavier weights prior to that set. So at first glance this actually seems to make a lot more sense. However, does that mean I'm a fan of this? The answer is no. The reason why is that this starts looking like concurrent periodization very quickly. I made a video on this a couple of weeks / months ago, and you guys know what I think about concurrent periodization. I think it's shit. Generally, people are much better off focusing on one percentage / weight at the same time and not really trying to do all things at once like you do whenever you're doing concurrent periodization or pyramid style training like I talked about in this video. So instead of trying to multitask doing 10 things at once, just focus on 10s for a few weeks, then 8s for a few weeks, then 5s and then triples for a few weeks, keeping the training variables to as little as possible and try to make as much progress as possible within that same weight / threshold / percentage. And also, it's an absolute ball ache to program, even more so than when you're doing concurrent periodization, because like, what are you gonna do? Increasing the weight I don't think is an option, since it's damn near impossible to predict performance on the latest sets when you are increasing stress on the earlier sets. Some people then choose to increase the number of sets that you do on a certain threshold, in which case just go for step loading. That's much easier. There really is no need to then do the other ones if you really focus on that specific rep range. Also, long term, let's imagine that you've been doing pyramids for a couple of months now and you kind of stall out with that style of training. Where are you gonna go from there? Like, what is the kind of next logical step to take in your program? There isn't one, because you've already been working in all those thresholds. The only way, in my opinion, to make this not shit is just to work in only 2 thresholds instead of 4 or 5, but then you just end up with top and back off sets, which makes a lot more sense, but this isn't pyramid training. So that is my full opinion on pyramid training. Like I said, I'm really not a fan of this training style, and I think the reason that a lot of people kind of want to train this way is that it's very sexy. Like, you're working in all rep ranges at once, making gains times 1,000, shocking your muscles to grow, but the harsh reality is it doesn't work that way, and universally people are better off doing other things. So instead of doing pyramid style training, I would really advise you guys to follow the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Do one thing at a time, focus on one thing and then move on to the next thing. Give yourself 3 or 4 weeks solely working on 10s, then do 8s for 3 weeks, 5 for 3 weeks, triples for 3 weeks, instead of trying to do all things at once. You'll be surprised how much more progress you actually end up making doing it this way compared to pyramid training. And then to finish off today's video, I am fully aware of the fact that there are some advanced training programs using pyramid style training. Now keep in mind, this video is aimed at 99% of people which don't use pyramid style training in that way. So keep that in mind. I'm fully aware of the fact that there are certain ways to actually make this work. However, for the vast majority of people, especially beginners and intermediates, once again, you're better off doing other things. And that is the full video on pyramid training. Like I said, not a huge fan of this training style. You're much better off doing other things. However, if you disagree with me and you have another opinion, let me know down below in the comments. And like always, if you have any more questions, video ideas or advice, let me know down below in the description. I kind of like talking about with people about their like views on trading, and it's kind of interesting. But with that being said, like it's a wrap. If you guys haven't already and shared the video, thank you guys for watching, and latest.